Well, good day. This is a special message from me before we do our Bible reading. And the Bible reading will be coming up next. But for January 2023, I began reading specific books in the New Testament. But after January, I just kept reading until in December, I had completed the whole New Testament, and it was posted, and it is posted on Facebook as well as on YouTube for as long as the internet exists. That's a wonderful thing. And then in November, then after that, it might have been actually in November that I finished. But then I began to read in the book of Isaiah because we were approaching Christmas, and the book of Isaiah has so many messianic prophecies. So I thought it was appropriate to begin with that book of the Old Testament. After that, after finishing that, I read the three books, the offerings of Solomon, and that was Proverbs, with the exception of a couple of books. Solomon wrote those. The book of Ecclesiastes, all Solomon, and the Song of Solomon. So those three books are finished. And my plan is to continue reading until I have read the whole Old Testament. Now, the Old Testament is 4 times larger, if not more, than the New Testament. And so, in order to get through it, I will many times have to read more than 1 chapter a day, or else I won't be finished until sometime in 2026. So just stick with me, be prepared, maybe 2 chapters, but you have the choice. So you'll listen to 1 chapter, and then later on, you can listen to the other chapter, or you can listen to the other chapter immediately after. Is no problem, is your choice. But in that way, we will be assured of completing the Old Testament before sometime in 2026. Now, some of the Old Testament books are difficult. For example, the book of Chronicles with its many lists of names, but it is part of our sacred text. Also, you have the poetic books with many poetic images, as well as the books of prophecy. They can be difficult. So since I'm just reading, I encourage you, if you hear something that is difficult, to then go to some study tools, Bible dictionaries, commentaries, even bona fide translation. Now, a translation is a rendering, a Bible rendering that goes back to the original language, translates from the Aramaic, the Hebrew, the Greek. So when you're checking to make sure you have a bona fide translation, you want to look in the front of the book, and there's usually an explanation of how they came up with that translation. Who are the translators? Who were the ones, the Bible societies that examined the translation after it was completed? Bible societies have to say, yes, this is a good translation. And that's what you want to do. Also, you want to check on that, so you have a good tool to do your study. Also, you might want to take a pen or pencil if you hear a passage of scripture that is familiar, but you didn't know where it was, but you hear where it is now, and you want to mark that so you can find out then not only who said it, to whom it was said, why it was said to them, and what the real situation was when that thing was said, so that you can then be assured of the real meaning of that passage of scripture, not just what you've heard in the past, but what you know now. Look, we want to take care, This is our sacred text. And so we want to be sure we know what's in it and what is not. So I ask you now, stick with it, even on the difficult ones. Be blessed in your listening, everyone. Thank you.